left alone with her. You're just tired of yourself, aren't you? He asked. You were holding to your hate and anger because you have nothing else in the world to cling to. How true that is. We need people every day doing that.
Yes.
Consequently, you have become sour, bitter, and resentful.
Yes.
What is your cure? Asked Charlotte. The faith you are trying to despise. As they talked, Charlotte softened. If I wanted to become a Christian and to share the peace and joy you possess, she finally asked, what would I do? You would give yourself to God just as you are now, with your fightings and fears, hates and loves, pride and shame. I would come to God just as I am. Is that right? Charlotte did come just as she was, and her heart was changed that day. As time passed, she found and claimed John 6:37 as a special verse for her. He who comes to me, I will by no means cast out. Years later, her brother, Reverend Henry Elliott, was raising funds for a school for the children of poor clergymen. Charlotte wrote a poem, and it was printed and sold across England. The leaflet said, "So for the benefit of St. Margaret's Hall, Brighton, him that cometh to me I will in no wise cast out." Underneath was Charlotte's poem, which has since become the most famous invitational hymn in history. She lived to be 82 and wrote about 150 hymns, though she never enjoyed good health. Still, she kept the faith. As her loved ones sifted through her papers after her death, they found over 1,000 letters she had kept in which people expressed their gratitude for the way this hymn had touched their lives. Just as I am without one plea, but that thy blood was shed for me, and that thou biddest me come to thee, O Lamb of God, I come.
Amen. Amen. It's so simple, so simple. Yes.
This is one of my favorite songs.
Yes. Bless the Lord. Bless the Lord.
One of my favorite songs, How Great Thou Art. And many knows Jesus is great this morning.
Yes.
I've seen a lot of great, beautiful places in our travels with our job that we have, and very blessed to travel across
me again so he reminded me what it was.
We'll let y'all go down to the center. We're gonna take your kids on into class this morning. Since you wanted to be down here, you've got the microphone.
What kind of man reached down his hand
not a shout and running message, but this is what the Lord gave me, and it's for me as well as you.
Yes.
I woke up at 4:13 and looked at the clock, and I thought, man, I didn't go to bed till late, we lost an hour, but that's okay. Had to get up this morning and start digging out the scriptures and finding a song that I hadn't thought about in probably 40 years.
Bless her.
And Allison came in, she said, what is that box doing up there? I said, I'm gonna use it, Allison. But I am a history person and I love history.
Yes.
And I go back a lot and read a lot. And back in the days of slavery, this is how God gave it to me. This is how I'm gonna give it to you. Now, Lord, help me deliver what you told me to do.
Yes.
And I'm gonna do the best I can, God. It's in your hands. Let the people receive it with open hearts and open minds, and don't let it slip away. Because, God, we are just coming as we are, just as we are, God. Trying to make it. We're trying to make it. God, help us make it. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Yes.
I woke up and the first thing that came to me was about slavery. And I thought, back in the days of slavery, there was called a slave block. And they put people on the slaves up there, and people made bids for them.
Yes.
They bid on them. They bid on people. There's somebody bidding today, and it's the devil and all the demons out of hell bidding for your soul.
That's right.
So we still have a slave block. This is going to be our slave block, and it's bright, and I thought, what can I put up our people that's going to remember this? That's our slave block. Picture yourself standing there. Picture yourself there. Picture your sisters and brothers and your family out beside of you there on a slave block. Somebody bidding for your soul.
Come on.
It's not going to be a human being out there bidding for it. It's going to be the spirits out of hell, the devil and all the demons out of hell. And believe you me, he's working overtime. If he wasn't, there wouldn't be raping and killing and stealing and all the things going on in our country. And people just walking up mad. There's a violence in our nation I have never seen anywhere. You can walk down the streets and people are so mad they look like they could knock you down. They look like, well, you think, well, what have I done? I don't know you. Who are you? Why are you mad at me? But it's the spirit in our land. We are in the end time, and you better get right, get it under the blood. You better keep it under the blood. You better get right, stay right, and go right.
Amen.
1 Peter chapter 4, verses 17 and 18 says this. This won't be long, but it's going to be what God gave me, and I'm giving it to you, and just as I am was part of it. 1 Peter chapter 4, verses 17 and 18 says, for the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of God. And it's not talking about this building here. It's not talking about the building down the road here, or over there, church building. This is the building it's talking about. Here's where judgment's going to begin at the house of God. And if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of God? And if the righteous scarcely, and I thought scarcely means just barely. In other words, we're just barely going to make it in. If the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear? And I thought, on this slave block, Brother Greg, you and Charles stand right there. I need, who else can I get real fast? Ricky Thomas, can you come and stand with them? Picture this is slave block right there. Or just stand right there, Brother Greg. You won't have to climb up there. And okay, if you don't mind, I would appreciate it. And you picture, you would be slaves like in the days of slavery.
Yes.
Alright, then you had all these bidders right down here bidding for you, and if you're a big robust guy, they're gonna pay for you.
Take more.
Alright, picture this in the spiritual. There are demons down here, and they're bidding for your soul. They'll pay any price to get you to do what they want you to do, and you know what? They don't give up. They don't give up. They don't give up. They bid, and 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 they bid, till eventually they wear you down, and they got you. And I thought, well, now, used to, and this song come to me, I'm gonna read it. I haven't sung this song in 40 years, I bet. He that the Son has set free. I remember standing on the auction block of sin. That's the auction block of sin.
Yeah.
Satan wanted to control me. He had the highest bid. But my ownership was purchased
Oh, yeah.
way back at Calvary. Jesus whispered, son, I bought you so that you might be set free. Jesus stepped out of those shadows among all of those bidders. He stepped out of the shadows and he lifted me out of sin. No one there, none of those devils, could stop him. I knew that he would win. He wrote my name in glory that I might ever live. Live with him forever. Eternal life did give. Whom the Son has set free is free indeed. No more chains of slavery. Through past trials in liberty, whom the Son has set free is free indeed.
Praise the Lord, yes.
Are y'all all right standing?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
And I thought, well now, Lord, you give me this, and you give me the song, which I hadn't thought of in 40 years. I had to get up this morning real early and start digging around to find the song. And then I thought, okay, slaves to what? We know in the days of slavery, they worked the fields. They were mistreated. Believe you me, they were mistreated. Beaten, killed, whipped, raped, murdered, everything under the sun. We become slaves to our lifestyle.
That's right. Yes, we do.
Some of you might not like this. Some of this hits me.
Oh, go ahead.
Our lifestyle.
Go ahead.
Everything has to be the best.
That's right.
You know what? I don't have to have the best food. I don't have to have the best clothes. I can go down here to the Salvation Army and buy my clothes, and I can feel good.
Amen.
I can feel good. I'm blessed. I am blessed. I wake up, go to bed every night, and I say, these are my words. I say, God, you might get tired of hearing me say this, but this is my prayer. God, I thank you for life, health, and strength, food, clothes, and shelter, a roof over my head, a bed to sleep in, and cover to cover up with. And I thank you, God, I can't thank you enough. Don't have to have the best. You just supply our needs, God. And I am thankful. I am so thankful. God, I can't thank you enough. I even wrote a song. I want to thank you in this song. Sometime maybe I'll sing it. Okay, we become slaves to food. Some people has to have the gourmet stuff. Me, I can sit down and eat a bowl of cereal and be thankful to God that I have that, because some people don't have that. And I say, when I say my prayer, God, thank you for this food. Thank you for those that don't have. I have stuff that some other people don't have. There are people that don't have a bite to eat. There are people overseas that have nothing. Would be so thankful to have what you've given me. They become slaves to drugs, pills, alcohol, perfection. Everything has to be perfect. I thought, man, this would hit me. Because when I went to school, this is hard to say. I made 98s in biology. I made 98s. That's my year average in algebra. Don't ask me to work the problems now because I don't remember it. But I would beat myself to death because it wasn't 100. God don't expect you. Just do the best you can. Give it all you got. When you give it all you got, that's what God expects. Everything don't have to be perfect. Your hair don't have to be perfect. It don't have to be a certain color. It don't have to be fixed a certain way. Your house don't have to be just this way. Your car don't have to be perfect. Ours has got a dent that I put in it. Alright, some people are slaves to being number one.
Come on.
Some people are slaves to having their way.
Oh, yeah, that's preach.
Some people are slaves to their cars, their houses, their money, their job. Some are slaves to lust. Some are slaves to lying. Some are slaves to stealing. Some are slaves to cursing. Some are slaves to fighting. Some are slaves to grumbling. Some are slaves to complaining. I hate complainers. Complainers, that just hurts me really, really bad because and another thing I tell God every night, thank you I'm born in America. Thank you, planted me here. Thank you, God. I am so thankful. Lord, I am so thankful. I have nothing to complain about. Some are slaves to judging.
Yeah.
Some are slaves to condemning.
Oh, yeah.
Some are slaves to anger. Some are slaves to bitterness. Some are slaves to hatred. Some are slaves to envy. Some are slaves to strife. Some are slaves to misery. Some are slaves to greed. Some are slaves to self-pity. Some are slaves to grudges. And I thought, I have heard people say, man, I'll never forget this, the longest day I live. I'll never forget it. I'll never forgive you. I'll never forget it. Well, you know what it'll do? It'll keep you out of heaven. It'll send you straight to hell. Send you straight to hell. Some are slaves to their past.
Yeah.
And I have heard that for 50 years, 55 years. Oh, it's because
Of that, yeah.
what's back there, you know, when you get saved, all that's gone.
Gone, yeah, it's gone.
Still forgetfulness. My life was tough when I was a young girl, but I don't go there and her all said, how do you handle that? I said, here's the way you handle your past. You put it in the door, in a closet. You close the closet. You put a lock on it, and the lock is the Lord. And you never go and lock the door.
Yeah.
And you live with,
Yeah.
it's gone.
Yeah.
What's past. You don't never go back paying a visit. People
Right.
visit it all the time.
Right. Come on.
They go back and visit.
Dig it up.
Yeah, dig it up,
Dig it up.
And they just absorb it and eat it and think about it.
Use it
And
as a
over
crutch,
and
yeah.
over and over and over. And put it back there and forget it. It's the Bible says he put it in the sea of forgetfulness to remember it no more. If he remembers it no more, the devil's going to try to torment his mind. That's a slave.
That's a slave.
Right.
Trying to torment you, trying to destroy you. So, we don't want to go there. And I was thinking this morning, I thought about this in a long time. Some people don't never want to forgive. But we live in a little block house, and we like to froze to death in that, and the kids about froze to death, and oh my gosh, the windows would freeze ice over them, the walls would sweat and mold, and here I am going alcohol, scrubbing walls down. We were poor, we had it rough. But thank God, I have no complaint.
Oh, yeah, come on.
Brother Greg, I'm here.
Amen.
And I know how to appreciate things because of what we had to go through. If I hadn't have been that route, I would be thankful for where I am today.
Yes. Praise
But
the
a lot of
Lord.
kids had a little bronze, it's like an old woman with a shoe, you might have seen the bank. We didn't have much, but they had some money in that little bronze shoe. And at that time, we had 3 kids. We were working with a guy, he had a lying spirit, where he could tell a lie, and he believed his own lies. This is awful to say, but he believed his own lies. He lived it. So he brought a friend in, and he just took him through our house, just the living room, where had a little old mantle and a little light up on it. But anyway, he went to church with us, the one we worked with that told the lies, and we come in that night after church, and I found out that our house had been broken into. God will fight your battles if you let him.
Yeah, give it to him, yeah.
Yes, and his friend had come in our back door, stole the bank, and I told her, I knew it just as if I had seen it on a TV program. I told him exactly what happened, who did it, who was the instigator, and I said, if you go do where I tell you to go, you're going to find the money.
A lot of silver dollars.
And it was true. So I thought, you don't have to fight your battles, he'll do it for you.
They go when they go.
Yeah. And he will show you. He will give you the exact answer.
Yes, you will.
He will lead you in the paths
Yes.
that he wants you to go. And I'm about through, but I think Charles has something to say. Brother Ray has something to say. I'm being slaves. Ricky, if you need to sit down, you can. I'm sorry. Thank you for helping me.
Ricky, stay there. You might have something.
Slaves. Yeah, you can sit there, Brother Martin. I just don't want you to stand too much on your back. Thank you. But you know what? There are things that are bidding for your soul. They're bidding for my soul every day of your life. And they will be bidding for it till the day you die.
Right.
He never gives up.
But Jesus give a higher price.
Yes.
You know, I was thinking about, when she was saying about all that, about your past is your past.
Yes.
You know, you forgive that. I thought, Brother Davis, I thought about when I got back in and first got back in, I stood right over there right where Joyce had just gone. And I said, I got to burn all my bridges behind me. And then that's like putting that devil in the closet,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm going to leave the door shut.
Yeah.
You know, if you say it, dwell on
Dwell
it,
on it.
you know, right? If you dwell on it, it'll eat you up, it'll take you over. And every time, Joyce, and I'm not going to go long. But I thought about, Brother Davis, me and you both are real bad about beating ourselves up.
Yeah.
About each time we get up here, and we do our best, Brother Davis. Like Joyce said, we do our best. Lord, I'm doing my best. If I messed up, I'm still doing my best. You know, it's time that I think that we put the devil in his place, brother. I think it's the time that we break the division thing. We stand for what we believe. We don't back up. We stand for what we love and right. Just think about it.
Listen, Lord.
This is not the time it was 10 years ago.
No, it's not.
This time, it's not like it was back in the 70s and the 60s. You know, you could trust people then.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this, brother, and this was so funny in a way. It was, you know, my house is big, George. And I went in last night, I thought I heard something running, you know, like water. And I looked, and I never did find that. Well, this morning I got up, and I walked around my house. And my outside spigot, it's like the church, it don't have the knob, you know, it's stuck out. But somebody had come there and turned it on. What good did they get out of it? It's just like the time they stole stuff from them. I'm like George. I said every who done it, God will punish them for it. You know, if they can live with it, I can live without it. When I felt that, I can live without what the devil has got out there. You know, and Teresa probably keep me for this. But she let me hear, can I say one part of it? Man, I heard a song that she said, if I told anybody, that she'd get it for me. So I'm not going to say the name of it, brother, but there was a part in there that I really liked. You know, I kind of felt sorry for myself. You know, when I came out of the hospital, I felt defeated. I felt like the devil had took all control of me. I thought he had put me in my place.
Oh, yeah.
It's all over.
But you know, it was just a couple words in that song. It said, you'll be mad? It's talking about Lazarus. And we got to Lazarus, he said, I'm just glad to be alive. And Brian, I'm just glad to be alive. God, I am glad to be alive. I'm glad to be a Christian. I'm glad to be a servant of His. I'm His. I'm His. I'm bought with a price. I had to burn bridges. I had to forget the past. I just had to dwell on what was to come. Right? I'm looking forward what's to come. It wasn't my time. I'm just like Lazarus. Hey, I'm glad to be here. I'm just glad to be here, brother.
I'm glad to be here.
Hey, man, I tell you right now, brother, I'm excited. Oh, I would not be here for a while, brother. You know, I've been a slave most of my life. I sung gospel music when I was 13 years old. I got tired of it when I was about 17, so guess what? I was still singing, but going out drinking afterwards. I was a slave to alcohol for a while. Yeah, I started driving a truck, become a slave to drugs, so I could stay awake, and then come home and take something else so I could go to sleep. Yeah, I was a sinner. I was a sinner. Saved by the grace of God, I'm a child of the King. Amen. And you know, not just alcohol, not just the whole thing you talked about, Sister Joyce, was slaves. I love to fish. Oh, I love to fish. But I used to love to carp fish. You sit on them banks and you catch these big old carp. At the end of the night, they pay you money for this. Right? It was gambling because I had to spend money to do it. I was in church for a lot of years and still carp fished. I get off that car pump about 2 o'clock in the morning. They sitting in church asleep, I couldn't stand it. But then the Lord called me in the ministry, right? But he told me, he said, Greg, the devil's a fisherman, not you. Because he's going to throw everything at you that you can to jerk you away from Christ. You know, when a fish takes off, you've never fished for us, doesn't like it. When a fish takes off, you got to jerk that line and sit there and hook. If you ever get pulled away from church, the devil's going to set that hook and you're his slave again. Amen. We was putting the stove in our house this week. We went downstairs. I asked a friend of mine, I said, what is the shower doing downstairs? He said, Greg, it's an old slave shower. Think about this now. My house used to be a slave house. We got a barn on the other side, it's a slave barn. I didn't even know this until this week. Because the old